Dear friends, welcome to the channel The Eastern Front. Few weeks earlier I talked about the cost of the T-34, and today we will talk about the German Tiger tank. How expensive was this tank in production and maintenance? It would be a mistake to think that the German Tiger tank was considered a useless, eternally breaking and not efficiently absorbing resources toy. After the appearance of the Tigers on the Eastern Front, everyone cried with them. First the Red Army and then the armies of the Allies, who met with the Tigers much later on other fronts. Up until 1945, this German tank was an alpha predator on the battlefields, including because the German command tried not to give such a device for inexperienced crew. For example, on the Second Front, all the crews of these armored cats were tank veterans from the Eastern Front. Largely due to this, after the Second World War, the myth of tank aces on Tigers was formed in Western culture. Most often the crews were not aces, but nevertheless had solid combat experience by 1944 on other machines. The main problem of all German tanks in comparison with the Soviet and American tanks is the extremely low manufacturability of production. The figures of the required man-hours spent on the production of one tank speaks for themselves. Panzer Corps 3 and Panzer Corps 4, for example, took 55 and 75–80,000 man-hours of work. For comparison, the T-34 took about 17.6 thousand man-hours. About the same amount of labor was spent on American Shermans. And these are tanks with the comparable characteristics. And now the main thing. In 1944, almost 500,000 man-hours of labor were spent on one Tiger. The tank turned out to be fierce, but specifically in this case, history proved the number beats the perfectionism. Another problem is the cost of production. The German tanks were noticeably more expensive than Allied ones. So, for the cost of one Panzer Corps 4, approximately 1.3 T-34 tanks could be produced in 1945. For one Panther in 1945, it was possible to make about 2 T-34. But one Tiger cost as much as 4 T-34s produced in 1945. And after the release of Soviet tanks, you would still have money left for pain and ice cream. In the Reichsmark, the Tiger was estimated at about 250–300,000. It's not all correct to recalculate the exchange rate to modern ones, but today it would be about 61.5 million Russian rubles. It's impossible not to recall that the Tigers ate noticeably more than other tanks of the Second World War. For an 80-kilometer march along the highway, the tank needed about 520 liters of fuel. This is 27 cans of 20 liters each. With each regular oil change, 28 liters of engine oil had to be poured into the Tiger as well. Another 30 liters in the gearbox. Another 5 liters of oil in the turret rotary mechanism and 70 liters in the engine fan. The water radiator was refueled with 120 liters of water. According to the regulations, all this water-oil wealth should have been changed every 5,000 kilometers of mileage when driving around the city square. In the field, the replacement of technical fluids had to be done every 500 kilometers. And with consistently polluted air filters even more often. After 1943, the technical manual on the Tiger for new crews began with the phrase about how much this tank cost and how much money the Nazi motherland spends on its maintenance. Dear friends, that's all for today. It was Tim and the Eastern Front channel. And as usual, I wish you peace and health. See you.